What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour a day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbott, coming to you with my co-host, Nigel Patterson.
Hey, everybody.
Nigel, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I can't complain today.
Dog, you know one thing I've noticed that we've been getting really fortunate with recently? We've had a lot of good weather. You don't think the weather's been good?
It's been good recently, but I mean, before this week?
Yeah, before this week. Yeah, it was a little hectic.
Even this morning. It was raining this morning.
Yeah. But like outside of that, like in the prime times of the day, it's been pretty good weather-wise.
Can't complain about it.
Like I don't feel like I've really had to wear a jacket or anything like that, and it's been just pretty much coasting. I feel like it's pretty much just been coasting for the most part in terms of weather and everything like that. But how's your day been so far, bro? Is everything?
Yo, let me put a top tip out for everybody real quickly.
Oh man, Nigel got some.
No. But you know, if you're still in school and you have a test, study for your test.
Oh,
it's just that simple.
Nigel, what happened?
We had to take a speaking quiz. No problem. You know, I felt like I shouldn't say I studied, but I crammed the day before and the right before the test. And I walked in, and I was feeling pretty confident. You know, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll get a good grade. It's not a deal.
Yeah.
She said one thing, and I was like, and I was just like, it was one of those things where like she's a good teacher.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, when you like, you just like crush somebody's expectations.
Damn.
And you're just like, oh, yo, I feel so bad.
Damn.
I was like, yo, I feel like she feels like she didn't teach me properly.
Damn.
And I let her down.
She one of them super engaged types.
Yeah, like she's a great teacher. And I was just like, yo, I feel so bad walking out. And then like, it was one of those things. As soon as I walked out, I was like, I got two main ones wrong. I know that. And I walked out, I was like, I know those two.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I walked out, I was thinking of a phrase. Like, whenever we do a speaking quiz, I just freeze up completely.
Really?
Yeah. And like, and as soon as I walked out, and like as soon as I closed the door, I was like, I knew what I should have said.
Is it like in front of the whole class?
No. It's just in front of her.
Oh, really?
If it was in front of the whole class, I mean, I would die. It's just that simple.
Is she like a really pretty teacher or something?
No,
like that?
she's just really nice. Like, she's just a really good teacher.
Oh.
Like, she's probably my second best teacher I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, she's really great.
Who's the first?
My high school teacher. That's because she let me out early. Like, how many classes did I take? How many classes did you take in high school?
I think you had to take about 4.
I took 7.
Maybe it was 7. Even in odds.
Oh, see, I didn't do all that.
Yeah.
So I had her for. She was my 4th period. She was my 4th period teacher as well as my 6th period teacher. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. And so she let me do my 6th period work in 4th period. So by the time 6th period came around, I could just leave.
Really?
Yeah. So I got out of school every day, like, I don't know, like 12 o'clock or like 12:30.
I think the best teacher I've ever had was I always remember this guy. His name was Mr. Lopresti. The main reason I remember him, he looked just like Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. Bro, he sounded just like Mr. Feeney and everything. And I swear, he would pass down some life principles that I'd just be like, what the heck? And I was just like, wow, I get a Mr. Feeney in my own life? That's dope.
See, I wish I could be like, oh man, you know, this teacher has such like impact on me and like, you know, all that.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel bad that my favorite thing about my teacher was she let me out early. I mean, she was a cool teacher and all. Like, she was really cool. And like, she didn't make the class hard or anything like that. And she was fun and everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, Swimming algebra, that's my favorite.
Sheesh.
Who's your worst teacher? Is a bigger question.
My worst teacher.
That's an easy one for me. This is so easy.
Really?
Easy. Oh.
Funny enough, the teacher I got into some of the worst trouble with was actually one of my favorite teachers because I got a referral in high school and stuff like that. Like, I did nothing wrong in high school.
You were a rebel in high school, huh?
No, I'm not no rebel.
You got a referral in high school.
Oh, bro.
How hard that is?
Man, there was this... Look, the teacher said we couldn't talk, right? And then this girl, she's kicking my chair, and I turn around to tell her stop kicking my chair, and then I get the referral.
It always happens like that.
Yeah, man.
So, in middle school, I gave this girl a pen.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, obviously, I was like, I'm going to borrow it, and I went back, obviously.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm not going to give it back to you. I was like, okay, I'm just going to take my pen then. So I went and took my pen. I got sent to the principal's office. Go to the principal's office. He writes me up and tells me I have to go to Saturday school. And then, and so even after that, and I didn't get along with the guy. Like, we never got along.
Yeah.
And so we started getting yelling at each other. He's like, "Oh, you want some pins?" He started throwing pins at me.
What?
Yeah. And so I went home that day, and I told my mom, "Yo, mom wrote a note. She said, if you don't apologize to my kid in front of the staff, she's like, I will get Fox News, CNN, everybody. I will get every single station down here if I have to." Yo, he apologized the quickest.
Really?
Yeah.
How old was he?
He was probably mid-50s.
Bro.
He's a principal now.
So what?
Yeah, he was assistant principal when that happened. He's a principal now at a different school.
Son, that's so crazy. I thought you were literally about to go into a Kevin Hart, like, my mama told me to tell you to my old gosh damn mother business. I thought you were about to go into a whole moment like that, bro.
Man, no. I saw that man. I probably saw that man at least every 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, that's back in middle school.
That's the thing. I can't remember. I didn't really have any teacher I genuinely despised. Like, I'm going through every single grade level, and
if you're going by every grade level, I got
Nigel. Why you got so many teachers, man?
4th grade, Miss Griffin. She gave me She had me like 60-something referrals. She almost kicked me out of her class completely.
60-something referral.
Yeah, there was one point I got like 10 referrals in a week.
What were you doing?
Like it was just things like she didn't like people talking back to her.
Yeah,
and you may notice how I kind of like talking back to people.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So she would constantly write me up for every single time I talk back to her. Referral, go to the office. Referral, go to the office. Referral, go to the office. Like I want to say like 3/4 of the way of the year, she called my parents in. And she was like, I'm this close to kicking Nigel out of my class, and I was just like. She didn't kick me out, thankfully.
You were just like, you looked at your parents, you're like, I mean, you guys raised me.
Yeah, I mean, come on. And then, I know we're going a little too long here, but midway through 6th grade, I kicked out of Saturday school.
Dog, hold on, no. Wait,
so you go to Saturday school because you're too bad to stay in detention. so I had to do Saturday school for a month.
Dog.
No. So what happened was, hold on a second. I got into an argument with the teacher because me and my friend were joking around, obviously, and like we tripped each other in the hallway, like it was a game, like you trying to trip each other without, and she saw that, and so she got in like this big tizzy, and she was talking about how you shouldn't be doing it, blah blah blah. And she was yelling at me. I'm like, yo, take it easy. She like the girl right next to me was telling me like, it's not that big of a deal. We do this all the time, blah blah blah. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna get you suspended and all. So I threw my jacket down because I was getting furious.
Yeah.
And she went to the principal that day, and she said I felt so threatened that he was going to attack me. And then so hold on. And so even after that, she was like, so the assistant principal, the same guy that threw pens at me and everything.
Yeah. Oh.
He called people in to like
interview him, ask him.
Yeah, and pretty much everybody was like. I had no problem with him. I mean, like we didn't think she was going to get attacked. I lost the Saturday school, so in school detention to finish out the year.
Yeah,
it was only like a week left in the year, so I had to spend the rest of the weekend, like 5 days in a row in school detention.
Nigel, that's terrible.
Yeah, I was good in high school though. I didn't get a single referral in high school.
What was the change?
No.
Like what? Oh, I guess you met that favorite teacher in high school.
She was my senior year.
Wow.
But my worst teacher though. Easiest class I ever took was keyboarding.
Oh no.
She failed 80% of that class.
Oh gosh.
She was so like you think keyboarding is not hard. But man, she gave you tests every single day. You have to do like type 60 words per 60 words per minute. while making. They said, okay, you can't come to Saturday school anymore. So you're going to...
And SoundCloud, and follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, where we tweet the live links to each show beforehand, and also our Twitter topics as well, or our show topics. And then you also can call in and join our discussion at 571-991-0566. Nigel, I actually have some interesting bit of information for you. So, remember how we were talking about aliens the other day?
Yeah.
Nigel, it's back.
My man said, let's talk about sports. Proceeds to not talk about sports.
Nigel, so today.
Okay. 15
I'm going to try this in my Morgan Freeman voice.
15 minutes in, haven't talked about sports yet.
Today, Nigel,
Haven't spoken about
NASA discovered that there are 7 planets out there
We knew this.
that are out of Earth's range of satellites. They are called TRAPPIST.
I mean exoplanets.
And that's 3 out of 7 of them. But they're too far out of Earth's reach for any of our shuttle technology to reach them. Nigel, what do you think of this? Do you really believe
So hold on a second.
alien life
Before you finish that, 3 of the 7 Earth-sized planets are found within the star's habitable zone, meaning liquid water and even amazingly life could exist on these planets.
Yes.
What do I mean?
What are they called again?
They're called exoplanets.
Exoplanets?
Yeah,
What's it called?
exoplanets.
What's it called? TRAPPIST or something like that? TRAPPIST?
They're orbiting around a single star in the TRAPPIST-1 system.
Ah, the TRAPPIST system. Okay. Yes, back to my.
I mean, that's cool.
Freeman.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, you know, if there's life, that's cool. I mean, I don't want to rock with them, but
yeah.
it's cool.
You still will not.
No,
interact with the
Brandon,
life.
it's not changing my answer. I don't care if they have life there.
Really?
No.
Not at all. But does it concern you?
No.
That there could possibly be life.
They haven't tried to contact us, so no, I'm not worried about it. Until they try to contact us, can we talk about sports?
All right, let's go get the sports. All right,
come on.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna jump into the sports topic. Of course, the biggest sports news of the week, next to the DeMarcus Cousins news, is the Lakers deciding to bring on Irvin Magic Johnson and fired Jim Buss and hired Magic as the president of player operations. Along with Jim Buss's firing, they fired Mitch Kupchiak, who was the general manager, and then they also fired John Black, who was the president of operations, of social operations and everything. He mainly dealt with the media and everything. He kind of funneled everything that happened with the Lakers. He's kind of the protective shield around the Lakers, which I don't understand why they fired him. But Jim Buss is gone, y'all. Jim Buss is gone. The reason why the Lakers have missed the playoffs for about 4 consecutive seasons, the reasons why the Lakers didn't get Hassan Whiteside, the reasons why the Lakers didn't retain Dwight Howard, the reason why the Lakers didn't get Isaiah Thomas, Jim Buss, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Nigel, let me break this down to you exactly why Jim Buss has flagrantly dismembered the franchise as it is today, and why Kobe Bryant had to retire in such a shameless way or shameful way. Okay. It's because of Jim Buss. Okay. Let me rewind the clock back. Okay. So dating back to Kobe Bryant's, back when Kobe Bryant was still Kobe. Yeah. Okay. Let me go all the way back to the Chris Paul trade. Okay. So Jim Buss, when you formed the Chris Paul trade, what could have been one of the biggest heists in NBA history? Okay. Where you put together a trade where you would have shipped away Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol. And I think you would have gotten in return back Chris Paul. Yeah. And you would have got. I don't think Eric Gordon was a part of the trade either. But you would have got those essential pieces back. Or sorry, Eric Gordon was on the Clippers at the time. But you would have got those pieces back. So the Lakers would have saved over $20 million in cap space and still have gotten back the best player in the trade. Mm-hmm. Now it's not one of those things that I think that the trade wasn't a good trade. I think I've heard people like Stephen A. criticize Jim Buss for making too good of a trade, especially since it was coming out during the time period right after the Heat just did their thing with LeBron, and the owners were pretty upset about that. Mm-hmm. But the problem with the trade was they included the wrong package, because at that point, that was when Andrew Bynum's stock was the highest. Mm-hmm. Andrew Bynum, at that point in time, was seen as raw talent that was going to be one of the best big men in the game. And Jim Buss, for whatever reason, was clinging to Andrew Bynum, despite everybody in the organization's notions telling him, "Hey, he has degenerative knees. His knees aren't going to hold up." And the Hornets were willing to make the trade, because the NBA was the owners of the Hornets at the time. Mm-hmm. Jim Buss didn't want to make the trade. Mm-hmm. Then finally, okay, so then we missed out on Chris Paul, obviously, because the NBA next the trade, and then he ends up going to the Clippers. So we missed out on Chris Paul. Further down the line, Jim Buss is obviously has his affinity to Andrew Bynum. When there's multiple trade suitors looking for Andrew Bynum, Jim Buss would not trade with those teams for Andrew Bynum, and especially the Orlando Magic, when Dwight Howard was still healthy, he didn't want to trade. He didn't want to do business with them because he thought Andrew Bynum was going to be the next big thing. In which Andrew Bynum, of course, we all know now he's not in the league anymore. Andrew Bynum goes on to get hurt, doesn't play another season in the NBA. So,
yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, well, he didn't play a full season. Andrew Bynum never played one full season in his whole career. Okay. I mean, especially as a starter. I think he played in 82 games, but he just never started 82 games. Okay. So then you fast forward a little bit to the Dwight Howard Steve Nash acquisition. So he goes and gets Dwight Howard Steve Nash. So he gets Steve Nash out of his prime. This is an older Steve Nash, pretty much the equivalent of an older Jason Kidd at the time when he comes to the Mavericks.
No, I disagree with that.
Steve Nash was more injury prone, but Jason Kidd was like what, in his late 30s or mid 30s, going on the back end.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Go ahead, keep going now.
So you get Steve Nash pretty much at the age of 38 years old. You got Steve Nash. Steve Nash at that point, he was a former MVP, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Steve Nash that you were going to get that was the two-time back-to-back MVP in the mid-2000s. So Jim Buss acquires him along with Dwight Howard, and they try to form their own big three in Los Angeles.
Okay,
and so,
one second. Steve Nash had just came off a year putting up 12.5, 10, shooting 53%, 39% from deep, and 90% from the free throw line. That's not Jason Kidd going to the Mavericks.
But he was still old though.
Older, yeah, but that's he's still 12 and 10.
Well, you didn't let me finish let me get to the grander scheme of the point. Then instead of bringing on a coach that would have catered to Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard specifically said, "I want Phil Jackson as my coach." Jim Buss has the smart, and Mitch Kupchiak, I guess, both of them have the smart idea to go and get Mike D'Antoni. But even before that, they got Mike Brown to coach a defensive roster when you brought on Steve Nash as your point guard. So it doesn't really make sense. They're hiring, and so you're firing Mike Brown after about 9 games into the season. So then you have one coach on the hook for money. Then you bring in Mike D'Antoni, and he wants to run this fast-paced offense. But then you have him running with 2 bigs. You have him running with Pau Gasol and Dwight Howard in the paint.
Before you even get to that point. Let's not forget. Oh no. Actually, go ahead. Keep on. It's after the season.
Oh, okay. And so then once you have Dwight Howard and you have Pau Gasol, and then you start using Pau Gasol in a way to make him become a 3-point shooter on the wing, which neutralizes the Lakers' main what the Lakers are known for is having the Twin Towers in LA plus Kobe Bryant. And then coming towards the end of the season, he ended up using up Kobe Bryant to the exhaustive point where Kobe ends up tearing his Achilles. And then, they get into the playoffs, but they get swept by the Spurs. And that's the last time the Lakers were in the playoffs. And following that, then you get rid of Mike D'Antoni. Then you what's it called? Then you bring on Byron Scott. You bring on Byron Scott after that. After Kobe and other people had intimately said that they wanted to have Brian Shaw and other coaches. Come on, go ahead, Nigel, interject.
So actually, I'm gonna go through the recruiting process back to when they were trying to get Dwight Howard. Mm-hmm. In the middle of that, right after his first season, he comes out and says, Andrew Bynum will carry this.
I forgot that. Yeah. He said Andrew Bynum. So obviously he's still showing his love for Andrew Bynum for whatever reason.
While to re-sign Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Come on.
So he never fully bought into Dwight Howard, who was the player on the team at the time. Yeah. And he was still trying to take little digs at at Dwight Howard. So it just doesn't make any sense. Then after that, the team is obviously going to be terrible because they pretty much have lost. Dwight Howard leaves to go to the Rockets. Right. It's just Kobe's hurt. Can't get healthy anymore. Right. Then it's just Pau Gasol and whoever else you got on the team. Right. So then after that, you go into the draft. You draft D'Angelo Russell. And then you draft Jordan Clarkson the year beforehand in that draft. So then you hire the year before after Julius Randle. Oh, sorry, Julius Randle. And Jordan Clarkson was in the same draft as Julius Randle. And then you draft Julius Randle. He breaks his leg. He's out for a season. Then the next year you draft D'Angelo Russell. Then you hire Byron Scott to coach a young team when he's known to want to coach veterans. So just none of it adds up. And then in the between the lines of all of this, there are multiple free agents that the Lakers could have gotten. The Lakers could have got Hassan Whiteside following the Kings waving him.
Okay, hold on. I want to stop you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they could have signed Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside was on their team.
Yes.
And you know the reason why they didn't sign him?
Because of Robert mother-loving Sacre. Jim Buss was so bought into Robert Sacre, wanted to keep a roster spot open for Robert Sacre. If y'all understand, Robert Sacre is nobody. Robert Sacre has no relevance in the NBA right now. Robert Sacre's in the NBA. He's in Japan.
Right now.
Yeah, he's in Japan. And Jim Buss was so fixated on making Robert Sacre somebody, he didn't want to give up the roster spot for Robert Sacre and give it to Whiteside so they could bring Hassan Whiteside on.
It's not even like Hassan Whiteside was like did bad or anything in practice. By all reports, everything was great about him.
Byron Scott loved him.
Byron Scott loved him. The organization loved him.
Yep.
Everybody outside of one person in that organization, everybody who was important in that organization, loved him.
Yep.
And we're absolutely like, just give him a roster spot. And somebody stepped in and said, "Hey, Robert Sacre's on our team. We don't need Hassan Whiteside."
Yep. And then and when he did that, he nixed the Hassan Whiteside deal. So then the Lakers are looking for.
So before we even go on, what has Hassan Whiteside? But to be fair, what has Hassan Whiteside done since after that?
Hassan Whiteside has averaged a double-double each season afterwards. Oh, he went out to the Miami Heat. And
so he actually has been good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if he was playing in Japan or if he was playing...
Oh, no, yeah. Hassan Whiteside's been pretty darn good in Miami.
Okay.
So actually the Miami Heat's max player right now on the roster, the franchise player.
So that's a negative.
Yeah, that's like towards Jim Buss. Thank you for letting me elaborate on that more. So pretty much you let one possible franchise player go right there. Then, or at least, he would have been paired with Kobe and Julius Randle, whoever else he would have had. Then, after that, Isaiah Thomas comes open as a free agent because the Kings let him go. And so, Mitch Kupchiak and other people start saying, oh, this kid got talent because he averaged 20 and 6 in his last season with the Kings. Then, Jim Buss, he's too small. I don't want him. I think he's a miniature guard. No. I don't want to take a chance on him.
No, to be fair, that's a fair approach.
But the thing is, everybody else in the organization wanted, and you just drafted D'Angelo. Actually, no, this was actually right before D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah,
this is right before D'Angelo Russell. So you needed a point guard.
This guy is hold on. Right before D'Angelo Russell, they knew they had to pick, right? Mm-hmm. No, I'm asking. They knew they had to pick. This year before.
Yeah, this year before. Okay. So
they had just drafted Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson's a shooting guard. He's not a point guard.
He played point guard before D'Angelo Russell got there.
He played point, but they didn't intend on him being their point guard of the future. That's the thing. And that's the reason why Mitch Kupchiak was entertaining the idea of Isaiah Thomas. He's like, we don't lose anything by bringing him on because we're losing anyway. Okay. So you could have brought Isaiah Thomas on, and then lo and behold, he goes to the Suns, plays well. Suns cut him, get another opportunity to sign the guy. Then goes to the Celtics. Like, come on. He's an all-star. He's an first-time all-star in the Celtics. Averages 28, second in the league in scoring right now. So he misses out on that. Then he holds up some of the Lakers.
You're forgetting somebody too.
Oh,
Kyle Lowry.
Oh, Kyle Lowry. Yes. He could have got Kyle Lowry. I can't stand this man. Could have got Kyle Lowry, and then doesn't get Kyle Lowry because he passes up on him because he's so fixated on keeping his roster spot for Robert Sacre and the guys that he has.
He didn't take Kyle Lowry because he was also the same reason he didn't take
Isaiah Thomas. So. But then he sabotaged the team by keeping Robert Sacre. Even Mitch Kupchiak said, "I feel like I'm forced to play Robert Sacre. I feel like I'm forced to keep him on this team."
Mike D'Antoni said he had to play Robert Sacre in a summer game because he didn't want to get fired.
Yeah, so
jokingly, I should say.
Yeah,
said jokingly.
So pretty much, Jim Buss had this hold over the franchise that stopped them from doing all these things they wanted to do. Then literally the Laker franchise was so terribly run. When LaMarcus Aldridge came to the meetings, a lot of people, see, this was the thing. A lot of people try to put things on Kobe. And I'm going to defend Kobe. I'm not like I'm some Kobe apologist, but I'm going to defend Kobe here. Because Kobe Kobe initially was getting paid $30 million the season before he tore his Achilles. Then they come to him, they ask him, will you be willing to take a pay cut? Because pay down to $24 million. He gave them enough room to sign a max free agent that summer, and the same thing the next following year. The Lakers didn't sign anybody. You want to know what happened in the free agent meetings when they brought LaMarcus Aldridge in? Kobe gave a great pitch to him. LaMarcus Aldridge said he loved what Kobe said to him. But then he asked the upper management, am I going to have to play center? Nobody had an answer for him.
No, they had an answer. Oh, actually, no. Here's exactly what he said. LaMarcus Aldridge, Kupchiak was dry and risk averse when Aldridge asked him directly who might be the starting center placed next to him as a Laker. I won't suggest anything. Kupchiak couldn't name a single player.
Not a single person.
Not a single person. Not Robert Sacre. Nobody.
Not yet. Robert Sacre, the cornerstone of the Lakers franchise, couldn't even name him. So it's like one of those things that you're just like, you just see how inept the franchise was under Jim Buss. Like, that's the reason why Kevin Durant didn't even bother to visit, because they didn't have they weren't a contending team.
Yeah,
but,
come on.
I mean, even if he gave his time of day to some teams that, I mean,
like who? He gave to the Wizards.
The Wizards aren't going to beat nobody in the Eastern Conference.
If Kevin Durant to the Wizards right now, they're third in the Eastern Conference.
No, now, but last year they were out of the playoffs.
This year?
No, last year. No, he went during after last year.
No, of this year.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying they started playing well this year. Last season they missed the playoffs altogether.
They have the talent,
but he had no reason to go there after they missed the playoffs that year. At that point, Bradley Beal couldn't stay healthy. John Wall was still coming up as a point guard. I mean, he was an all-star point guard, but Bradley Beal couldn't stay healthy. Now Bradley Beal has actually been healthy, so. It's like, I mean, at that point they weren't going to beat the Cavs as
Boston.
they were constructed last year.
Oh, he didn't go to Washington. He went to Boston. Sorry,
but Boston wasn't even going to contend with the Cavs at that point in time. No, they weren't.
Yeah, absolutely were.
At that point in time, Isaiah Thomas was not playing like this. Isaiah Thomas.
They were fourth last year. And
let me keep going on the Lakers point. But they didn't even warrant a visit at all from him, and. So it just goes to show, and then so many people blame the lack of free agent acquisitions on the Kobe contract, but they had enough space to sign at least one free agent. They had enough space to sign one person, but nobody wanted to come there. Why? Because the franchise didn't have a sense of direction. They didn't have a plan. The Lakers would put 1 foot into tanking, then put 1 foot into trying to be a playoff contender. They never knew what they wanted to do. It never made sense. Let's go. Once again, we watched another game-winning shot as Syracuse just hits a game-winning shot to beat Duke with a final score of 78-75. You guys can see the reaction on ESPN. It's a pretty dope shot. Bank three. But pretty much Jim Buss has just had he's handcuffed the Laker organization.
Yes.
As I'm going to fast forward a little bit over, because as Kobe was the scapegoat, I'm going to fast forward to this year. So you have D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, and Brandon Ingram as your young core. Why do you sign Timofey Mozgov to a 4-year, $60+ million contract?
Hold on.
Wait. I got Luol Deng too. And then you sign Luol Deng to a 4-year, $70+ million contract. And I know what you're going to say, Nigel.
What am I going to say?
I said that I don't have as much problem with the Timofey Mozgov contract, but I remember I just said before this was off the air.
It was off the air.
I just said I didn't want them to sign him for that much. I didn't want him to sign. I think he was a good signing, but not for that much money.
I disagree with that point.
Not for that much money. But if you get him at a cheap price, I mean, it's a good big man to have on the bench. But if I just don't understand. That's the epitome. Now they have 2 bad contracts on the roster, and then they automatically showed that they didn't have a plan for what they're doing. The Sixers knew what they wanted to do. They were like, we're gonna suck, and we're gonna suck good. We're gonna suck so bad that we're gonna have to get people to investigate our franchise suck. And at that point, Sam Hinkie got removed. Jerry Colangelo had to come in there. But right now, the Philadelphia 76ers is in a better place than the Lakers.
Man was a genius, and he will never get to see the fruits of his labor.
Never get to see it. He won't.
Tragic.
He won't.
Sad.
Trust the process. Trust the process. Everybody criticized him for saying just trust the process. And now at the point, what do we call Joel Embiid?
The process. Exactly. What do they have in the future? They're drafting. Sorry, I'm not gonna go on a tangent. Go ahead. Keep going. When we start talking about the Sixers, it just gets me annoyed.
But
tragic.
That's the thing. Jim Buss was so inept, and the thing is, now at this point, everybody question: should they move, or did they even draft players correctly? Should they move certain players and everything like that? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, D'Angelo Russell's in his second season. He's averaging 14.2 points, 4 assists, 4.7 assists, 3.8 rebounds. He's shooting 77% from the free throw line, 39% from the field, and 35% from three, and averaging 2.6 turnovers.
Minutes. He's only playing.
He's only playing 26 minutes.
Yes, exactly. And Luke Walton's thing has been he's going to spread out the minutes.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get eye-popping numbers from D'Angelo Russell or Julius Randle or Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Or Jordan Clarkson, because they're all a balanced attack. Because none of them are really that good to play 36 minutes a game.
That's the thing. That's why I'm just like, this franchise is so. That's why I'm happy this move has happened, because now they get a fresh start sort of thing. Because now, and I've heard that a lot of people are talking about trade talks, like they're trying to get DeMarcus Cousins, even though I think that was a last ditch effort. Yeah, they were in the talks.
Oh yeah, they were. They were
trying to get. They just didn't want to trade. They said anybody was available except for Brandon Ingram. And it's like, damn, bro, like y'all just. I get it. You get a superstar player, superstar talented player for these young guys, but D'Angelo Russell's only been in the league for freaking 2 seasons, not in a full 2 years.
Well,
2 seasons.
The question becomes, do you think he could be as good as DeMarcus Cousins right now?
I mean, I have no idea. I mean, you just don't know. And but the thing is, you got to think long term. If you have 1 foot into being that was when Jim Buss and them were still there. But that was a complete example of how they have 1 foot into tanking and 1 foot into trying to be good.
You say that, but new management here, Magic Johnson, which is we're gonna go into anyway. He was turning around. He says he wants to get Paul George right now. He says he wants to win. Right, he wants to get to winning right now. He
does want to get to winning right now. That's the thing that, for me, about what the Lakers are trying to do. I think if they're trying to, but the real thing about it I think starting with Paul George versus DeMarcus Cousins is the better way to go, because of DeMarcus Cousins' volatility, and because I don't know how, if you have Luke Walton, who's a first-year coach, and you bring DeMarcus Cousins in, I don't know how that works. Whereas Paul George, he already says he's contemplating coming to the Lakers in 2018. So that makes things more interesting. But I think if you're a young team, you should entertain the idea of just trying to be young and trying to bring your young guys up. But I do understand their ideas to entertain, taking some shortcuts there. Because, I mean, the Lakers don't want to be bad for forever. And Magic, now that he just got the job, he wants to make some splash moves. He wants to get guys. I mean, it's like a tricky situation. Because do you think that it's wise that they didn't want to include Brandon Ingram into that trade for Boogie Cousins?
It depends on the package. If the package is like, you have to give up Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell / Julius Randle, and a first round pick, then it's like, I mean, you're gutting the future that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
If it's like Brandon Ingram single handedly, some picks and some fillers, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But like I saw some people threw around, it was gonna be like Russell, Ingram, 17 or something like that. And that's just to me that's.
But that's the thing. And so many people are already like, why is it? But here's the thing, Nigel. I don't get it, because look, they say anybody except Brandon Ingram, but it's like Brandon Ingram on the season, 8 points, 1.9 assists, 4.1 rebounds, shooting 36% from the field, 30% from 3-point line, 65% from the free throw stripe. He's averaging 1.3 turnovers a game. So anybody's tradable but Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's the guy that they think has the most superstar potential. Yeah. But it's like, if D'Angelo Russell hasn't played bad. It's not like he hasn't played Emmanuel Mudiay bad. I mean, the dude's only in his second year. Emmanuel Mudiay's terrible. He's terrible.
I don't like you trashing that, man.
Because I'm not lying, am I?
I mean, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But that was the other point guard in his draft. D'Angelo Russell's increased his scoring output. I mean, you look at guys like Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry took him about 5 seasons to become an All-Star, and now he's made 3 consecutive All-Star games.
Not expected to be the franchise player.
But that's the thing I'm saying. But even if D'Angelo Russell became Kyle Lowry good, I mean, that's a good complimentary piece to a championship team, right?
Yeah.
So then you have a guy like Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward took him multiple years to start scoring plus 20 points. First All-Star game. Paul George took him 4 years to average 20 plus points. Kobe Bryant took him 4 years to average 20 plus points. Kobe Bryant didn't start averaging 20 plus points until his second season as a starter. That was when Kobe Bryant was roughly about 22 years old. So I'm like, it's like, I mean, for me, it's just like, it's just weird, because I'm like, I feel like at this point it's the same thing with the NFL. If a quarterback doesn't come in and perform his first season, everybody's like, oh, they're a bust. Or if they don't come in and just they're not Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. If a guy doesn't come in, he's not LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, he's a bust.
Well, see, the issue is, you took guys who weren't expected to be great and used them as an example. Show me some first and second picks that took forever to get going. You don't pick somebody as a first and second pick and say, well, we want them to be good in 4 years. So, I mean, he was expected to come in. His jump shot was supposed to be there already. And then all the other stuff was supposed to round it out. But the problem is, he's come in, jump shot's there. Scoring's not there. He can't finish because strength problems, which they expected. But his rebounding is there. His rebound's kind of there, and his playmaking's better than what they expected to be. But at the same time, it's like, if his scoring doesn't come around, then it's just like, well, I'm just a good player. When you drafted Gordon Hayward, it was like, if Gordon Hayward turns out to be an all-star, that's fantastic. We don't expect that of him, but that's fantastic. Kyle Lowry, same thing. Kyle Lowry bounced around for 3 teams before. He got drafted by Memphis, got sent to to Houston. They moved him to get Goran Dragic started. And then he got to Toronto, and it was like, okay, so Kyle Lowry now is a good player. But you weren't expecting that when you drafted him. The other player you listed, I can't even think of what his name was.
Kobe.
Well, George was just supposed to be a defensive specialist. He wasn't expected to be some franchise player. Same thing with him. Until where he showed that he played great Bulls, where he played great defense on top of scoring decently well. They saw flashes of potential from him. They were like, oh, maybe this guy can be a scorer. That's when he wasn't expected to be that, though. Same thing with Kawhi. He wasn't expected to be that. He just went to a perfect organization that happened, let him go along. And they need him to be the superstar.
Well, here's the thing about that though. It's like, okay, so a guy like Russell Westbrook was brought in and was expected. It was seen as a top tier talent. And
He was a reach.
No, Russell Westbrook, he was still top. He was top
10.
He was a lottery pick.
But he was. First of all,
he was a reach for because he was undersized shooting guard, and so
he was expected to be a defensive specialist, which is what he was at UCLA. The only team that thought he could be a point guard was OKC.
But everybody still knew he had a crazy athletic talent.
Oh, yeah.
But even took Russell Westbrook 2 years to get into averaging over 20 plus points and so on. So it's like we're just shortchanging these guys on their time frame that they get to
20 points. 20 points
because I mean, if D'Angelo Russell was averaging 20 plus points, that's like the bar for where everybody's like, oh, he has all-star talent. He could be an all-star talented player. That's why I say if he averaged 20 plus points, when you're still in the teams, people are like, oh, he might not be an all-star player, blah blah blah. But when he averages 20 plus points, they're like, oh, he has scoring potential because he can put up 20. So that's why I'm using the 20 point bar because I know how they measure it. But it's like you see something like that, and you see like you got to give these guys time to manage, especially like how you even noted in the system that they play in. It's gonna be ball dominant. He's not gonna dominate the ball in Luke Walton's system. Luke Walton has made a system emblematic of the Golden State Warriors, just with less available minutes, and because he utilizes his bench a lot and tries to keep his players' minutes down. So I mean, it'll be interesting. Okay, so right before, okay, we might have to touch on the next topic because we ran long on this topic. But all right, y'all, we're gonna go on to our next topic. We're gonna talk about LeBron James and has his dominance in the NBA been understated? Stay tuned to find out the answer, y'all. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour name. Don't forget, we're gonna end the segment, and after about 20 to 30 seconds, refresh the page, and our live link will be back up there for you guys to click and listen to us live. Stay tuned, y'all. It's KBR Sports.